Hi, I'm Jeff Black with Little J Games. The game I want to show you today is called Gotcha Gargoyle. It's for 2 to 5 players, ages 8 and up, plays in about 15 minutes. The great part about it is that kids and adults can both play together and everyone can have a good time. So, what's it about? Well, in Gotcha Gargoyle you're playing the role of a detective, a great detective. In the city where you live, gargoyles, those weird stone things that are up on the skyscrapers, they've been detaching themselves. Most of them have been going back to the quarries and the caves where they came from, but one at least has stuck around town and is causing quite a bit of trouble. So it's your job as the detective to find that culprit, that gargoyle, and bring him to justice. So let me show you a little bit about how that works. At the beginning of the game there's a suspect pool. There's 6 gargoyles that are the suspects. So one of these 6 is the one you're looking for. At the beginning of the game you remove one card secretly. Nobody gets to look at it. Keep it aside. This is the culprit. The other 5 are the suspect pool, and during the game you're going to be basically competing for chances to look at one of these cards, because every time you look at one of these cards you can eliminate that suspect, because if the card is in here it can't be the card over here. And so you win through deduction. Now, I'm not going to go into every single detail here, but let me show you a little bit about how the cards and the cubes work together to play the game. Players always have a hand of 3 cards, and on their turn they'll play one of those 3. Many of the cards allow them to take cubes. Sometimes it's 1 cube, it could be 2 cubes, or as many as 3 cubes. The cubes are used, you trade them in for a chance to look at the suspect pool, to look at one of the cards, one of the gargoyle cards secretly. So if you trade in cubes you get to have a private look where only you get to see which card, get to see the card. There's also a gargoyle card, which if you play that allows for a public viewing. You get to look at one card from the gargoyle pool, the suspect pool, but all of your opponents get to look at it too. Now there's a couple of exceptions to that. There's an action card that you could get which calls to be semi-private. Basically any gargoyle viewing which would have been private for one player, now that player has to share the information with you. Also there's one to give a cube to a player. Now you might ask, why would I want to give a cube to a player? Well, if you gave one of your cubes to a player and then that player completed a scoring set, for example 5 purple cubes, then what would have been a private viewing becomes semi-private and you get to have a look too. So when you feel like you've acquired enough information, you've gotten all the information that you can, you call out,
"Gotcha, gargoyle!"
and then you get to have a look at the suspect, the culprit card. If your guess is correct, you make the guess publicly, but you look secretly. If your guess is correct, you win the game. But if your guess is incorrect, it stays a secret, you're eliminated, and play continues. But the good news is, the game won't last long, because that case is going to get cracked, and it's going to get solved. So, thanks for dropping by and having a look at our game, Gotcha Gargoyle. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you at our table.